All right. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for taking your time out to be here tonight and learn about the Purium economy. If you were invited here by a friend, it's because they really want to share something special with you, something that is changing people's lives every day on a health and financial front. So we're going to go ahead and get right into it as we have a lot of really great information we're going to be covering tonight, as well as a spectacular guest, Todd Gates, who's a former NBA career professional and health enthusiast. So you're going to want to stay on for the whole call, because at the end of the call, we're also going to be giving away one of our whole food immune support blends to one lucky guest. So you want to stick around till the end. So before we begin, I just want to tell you all a little bit about myself. So my name is Beth Flemming. I am what we call a 2-star crown here with Purium. And basically, Purium has completely transformed my life in the last 3 years. And what it's allowed me to do is share my passion for health, community, purposeful living, and solution-oriented entrepreneurship. So go back 3 years ago, and I was actually a really struggling single mom. My fiance and I had been separated for almost 2 years due to a very long and drawn out immigration process. And I was literally working 4 jobs with a baby on my back, doing everything I could to create the funds to bring my husband over to the US from Guinea, West Africa, and allow him to meet our firstborn son. I was basically running around like a chicken with my head cut off as a solo entrepreneur. I was barely making ends meet. And I had a very heavy heart trying to find the right solutions for my family so we could be united together. I've also been in the nutrition field around 15 years. And even with all of my knowledge and credentials in the field, at the time, I was also suffering from postpartum depletion. And I was hunting for solutions. I was hunting for solutions financially to bring what is my now husband over here. And I was hunting for ways to be able to support this depletion I was going through as a postpartum mother who was working really hard. And I really was just trying to find a way to get back to myself mentally, emotionally. And luckily, this is when I came in contact with Purium. So what really resonated most about Purium for me in the very beginning is the fact that this company has been working with organic farmers and creating support and infrastructure for small sustainable farming for 25 plus years, divesting from corporations like Monsanto and Bayer that contribute to soil depletion and environmental degradation, and investing in regenerative farming practices, rebuilding soil ecosystems that are so crucial for planetary health and well-being. And Purium has been dedicated to regenerative farming before regenerative was really the hot topic. You hear a lot about that now, but Purium has been dedicated to providing the most high quality, Purium, and pure organic, non-GMO nutrients to families and communities for decades. And in 2014, that's when Purium shifted to what we call a social sharing economy, and what we now call the Purium economy. And basically what it is they wanted to be able to grow their mission of educating the masses about healthy eating and inviting moms, artists, professionals, entrepreneurs, activists, I mean, you name it, to make an income sharing these nutrients with their community through peer-to-peer sharing. I was also very impressed and still am by our company's leadership and environmental stewardship. We will be 100% plastic free by the end of 2021. And the owners, Dave and Amy, have invented the very first non-GMO compostable hemp and bamboo packaging that all our products will be transitioning into by the end of the year. And by the end of the year, we've saved about 100,000 pounds of plastic from going into our oceans over the past few years by eliminating plastic spoons and plastic bins from our product line. And additionally, Purium is really working towards food equality and decrease carbon emissions through a delivery system that ships nutrients straight to a person's door, from the manufacturing facility in California, straight from the farm, eliminating middlemen and also eliminating the excessive transportation that most of our food endures when we buy it from a grocery store. And basically, we're able to get these nutrients directly to people's doors who maybe live in a food desert or an underserved community that just don't have access. And one of the other main reasons I was so excited to join Purium and feel like it was such a solution for me is because of the activism leg of our company called the Million Mom Movement. We call it the Movement of Many, or the MMM. And what the MMM does is it provides superfood scholarships and economic empowerment to those facing hardship in their lives. So we as the MMM are on a mission to help 1,000 caregivers in 100 communities commit to spreading health and well-being and economic opportunity around organic superfood nutrition with 10 families each. And if we each did this, we would be 1 million strong, helping people every day to end unnecessary health and financial suffering. And that is why your friend invited you to listen in on this conversation today, to be part of this big mission. And for me, the Purium economy is a rather revolutionary business model, and that everyday people like me can create a secondary or even full-time income if desired, working part-time hours with complete time and location sovereignty, and begin to set in place systems for residual income so that we can free up our time, so that we can free up our resources to be able to have the space to do what we are most passionate about, and also get really, really healthy in the process. And because of the Purium economy, I can happily now say that I have been able to bring my husband to America about 2.5 years ago. We now have 2 children. We're living our dream life. We're traveling all over with our kids because my husband is a professional West African drummer and dancer. So we travel to communities sharing drum and dance. And along the way, I get to share about, the economic opportunities and the health opportunities that Purium provide. And we're also able to support the Kisidugu School of Music, Dance, and Education back in Guinea, which is a huge passion project of our families. So basically, we're doing it. We're creating our life by design. It's driven by our passions, and it's all because of this amazing company and this amazing business model that Purium is. So I could go on for a long time talking about how much I love the Purium economy and how much it's changed my life. But before I take up too much time, I would really love to bring on Todd, who I was telling you about in the beginning. He's a successful, healthy lifestyle entrepreneur. And I was hearing him speak the other day and was just so inspired by his mission and his heart and how he's leveraging this Purium economy to really do the work he feels is most important. So Todd, are you on the call?
Yes, I am.
All right. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So Todd, will you maybe you could just share with us all a little bit about your background and share a little bit about what are your passions?
Sure. So I'm a strength and conditioning coach, but I started off as a personal trainer in 1997 out here in Massachusetts at Powerhouse Gym. My goal prior to that, I was an athlete. Went to University of Virginia, played basketball there, Loyola Marymount. Then I transferred out to Loyola Marymount in California. I was going to play basketball and baseball. I ended up just playing basketball. Just ended up playing baseball. I didn't understand the weather. I never really spent time in California, so I didn't realize that it was warm in the winter, so you could play baseball year round. So I had to make a decision whether I was going to be a better chance of becoming a professional basketball player or a baseball player. So I chose baseball. Back then, there weren't too many 5'10", 5'11" players in the league. And so I had my dream. I worked hard, and I got drafted by the Texas Rangers in '91. Played in their organization for a couple of years. And then when I got released, I was picked up by the Giants, but I wasn't going to play as much as I needed to develop. So I said, I'm going to go back and I'm going to retire and go back to college and graduate. So I went back to Virginia to graduate. And then I started playing basketball while I was at Virginia again with the team in the off season. And I said, you know what, let me chase this basketball dream for a little bit. So I ended up playing basketball overseas, CBA tryouts and USBL. And I stopped at 27, 28. I was tired of chasing a dream and I needed to start a career. So that's when I became a personal trainer. But my goal was to always work with athletes. I love athletes. So I had met um, a friend of mine at Powerhouse Gym, knew someone at Boston College. His uncle knew somebody. And so I got an interview there, and that's where I started my college career. So I started working at Boston College for a year. Then I went to UMass Boston, where I was a director of strength and conditioning. Then I went back to Boston College. And then after a year, I took a job with Rutgers University. So I was at Rutgers from 2002 to 2006. But while at Rutgers, I invented an exercise bench called it's called the MCore FTS. The benches never fit my athletes. And so the bench has also never changed. It's never anyone, even if you don't work out, you know what a bench looks like. So I needed a bench where your core was always engaged. And I needed a bench that fit my athletes. I have a 6'10" basketball player, a 5'3" gymnast. And so I wanted an apparatus that articulated up and down and side to side. And so I said to my boss, have you ever seen a bench that goes up and down? I said, we're doing all these things, pressing on a physio ball. And a physio ball is very dangerous to press on at that time because they didn't have the anti-burst. And someone from the Sacramento Kings, I forgot the player's name, it broke his wrist and he was out for the year. So we got messages, emails from around, from the NBA, from NBA strength coaches and college coaches to lay off the physio ball. And so I said, still need our core engaged. So he goes, I never seen one. I said, well, I'm going to make it. And so I was trying to figure out how to make it. I can't draw. But one of the wrestlers was a mechanical engineer, and he said, it's a good idea. He goes, approach the department head. So I approached the department head. I told him the idea that I wanted to make a bench because the students have to do a project every year. So I got 5 students from the mechanical engineering department. And I told them it can't tip, it can't break, and it can't slide. If I hurt a Rutgers athlete, my career is over. And so I told him what I wanted to look like, an X-based design, the apparatus is in the middle, a smaller seat, a little bit wider for your athletes. And I thought it was a really good idea. So I was like, you know what, you guys can't show it to anybody. So I told the professor, I said, I don't want them to show it to anybody because someone may steal it. And so at the end of the semester, this was in 2006, I came up with the idea in 2004. But it ended up being 2006. When I got on it, I was like, oh, wow, this actually really works. And I had an aha moment. I was like, you know what? I'm leaving. I'm going to start my own business. So in 2006, I left Rutgers and started my career as an entrepreneur with a company called MCore FTS. Then my first manufacturing date was 2009. And then I also had a patent. I wrote my own patent because I didn't have money. I didn't know what I was doing. So I just followed the patent, just go to the utility patent, just follow the design and how they write it. And so I wrote it. And when I finally was able to get enough revenue to get with a patent attorney, and they go, who wrote this? I said, I did. They're like, well, it's kind of lame. It's not too bad. Let's submit it. And I submitted it, and actually they tweaked it a little bit and it got approved. So I started manufacturing in 2008, and I tweaked the bench a little bit. And so I was doing that, going to trade shows, but also still doing the strength and conditioning. I had my own business, working with athletes and the general population. But my goal really was to get this bench in every gym and every collegiate facility in the country. I ended up actually getting called to a show with Jillian Michaels in 2015 called Sweat Inc. So I was on a reality TV show with the bench. They were looking for the next greatest product out there. So I was out there for the summer, had a good time. I actually won my episode, won $10,000, got to the finals, but didn't win it. But my goal was just to, use it for marketing, get it out there so everybody could see it.
Wow.
And I ended up, what did I end up doing? Then I ended up partnering with somebody and opening up a small studio in New York. And then in 2017, a friend of mine called me and asked if I wanted to work for the NBA. And I said, I go, how much? That's what I said. At this point in my career, I was like, I don't want to go back working for somebody. I said, and I really said, well, money talks. I said, if the money's right and it's a good fit, I'll do it. And so they called me up. They told me what the position was. My job was to develop Indian players for the NBA. We had a 5-year mandate, and I was gonna send me out to India. And so they sent me out to India, and I did that from 2017 to 2020, developing Indian players for the NBA. Great experience working for the NBA. You meet a lot of people. I mean, it's a huge organization. You meet a lot of ex-players, you meet everybody. And it opens up a lot of avenues to networking because it's just such a big conglomerate. From Adam Silver to Mark Tatum, the really good organization. I like how they operated. But in 2018, my mom got sick. So she was sick over it. She was diagnosed with lupus. And then in 2018, she was diagnosed with kidney failure. And she did not want to do dialysis, which was disheartening. And so she decided to do hospice at home. So I was out of the country, and every time I'd come back, she'd get worse and worse. And at that time, I also wasn't feeling too well, and I'd learned a lot about Dr. Morse, and I immersed myself in Dr. Morse's teachings. And so I'd come back, and my mom was getting worse, and I tried to help her, but I didn't really know what I was doing. I was doing my own protocol at that point. And then in 2019, we lost her. In February 15, 2019, we lost her. So I really wanted to save her, but I couldn't as much as I wanted to. She got tired of taking the pills. So it was the impetus for me to become a cellular generation detox specialist, because the pain that I even still feel today, I don't want anyone to suffer. You don't have to suffer. Disease doesn't exist. My mom, I mean, she's a rock. That's her right there in this picture in the background, in the middle. She's a rock star. She went out on her own terms, but I really wanted to educate, everybody who I come in contact with, that disease doesn't exist. You don't have to suffer. Everything is cause and effect. And now, I applied, what I've learned from Dr. Morse with my athletes, but I'm really actually working more with the general population because they're the ones who are more compromised than the younger athletes. The young athletes have some certain issues, sometimes skin conditions, they're teenagers, inflammatory issues, tendinitis, but the general population has every disease known to man. So really that's my focus right now is really helping the general population get better, get well, educate them, and really educate people on the physiology of our bodies and nutrition for our physiology. And Purium really fits into that model. I can help more people. One thing I did tell the NBA, because I had opportunities to interview with some teams and possibly working in the office, but I wanted to have a broader impact, not just on players, but on the whole world. And so you kind of get in a bubble when you work for the league, and you can't really venture out. There's an exposure issue with them. So everything has to be approved. So I wanted to really spread my wings. And I've always been a leader. I've always, worked for myself since 2006. So going back to corporate world wasn't difficult, but it was different. You got to follow chain of command, just like in college or sports. But I like being my own boss. I like being free. I like controlling my own time. And when you lose your mom, that time is really, really precious. And then my dad wasn't feeling too well, dealing with neuropathy, prostate cancer. He had stage 3 kidney failure, high blood pressure, overall weakness because of COVID. He didn't go anywhere, frozen shoulder. So I left the NBA to come back and help him. I didn't want to miss out, and I didn't. Excuse me. He's alone. My mom did everything, and my dad was the breadwinner. So the survival skill set that my dad had was null and void. My sister was here, but she could only do so much. She doesn't know what I know or does what I do in terms of health and also in terms of fitness. So I came back really to take care of him in April after being stuck in New York for a year because of COVID. Couldn't get back. So I didn't see him for 2 years from
Oh,
when my mom passed to the funeral. Then I'm stuck in New York because of COVID. Couldn't get back here, all those mandates and having to quarantine. So I came back in April to take care of my dad, and he's doing so much better now. It's high blood. He no longer has high blood pressure. He doesn't take high blood pressure medication. His kidneys are he's no longer in kidney failure. Built a gym downstairs. So I got him doing working out, getting stronger, and making sure he takes his Purium products. You know, he's on some really good Purium products and some Dr. Morse products. And he's like, man, this actually really works. I go, yeah, of course it works. I said, there's no such thing as disease. It doesn't exist. I said, mom just didn't want to do it anymore. You know, when she passed, we found pills in her robe, under the bed, and in chairs. She just got tired of taking pills. And my dad actually said yesterday he didn't realize how much pain she was in. That was kind of hurt me a little bit because she kept it to herself. She never said she was in pain. She'd always say she was fine. But my dad was like, I should have known. I'm like, well, how are you supposed to know if she doesn't communicate that? You know, and so no one should be in that kind of pain where they don't want to be here anymore. You know, and you see that a lot where people are in a lot of pain and they just don't want to be here anymore. And I don't want that. I don't want people to be in so much pain that they don't want to be here anymore. Life can be really, really, really good, or it can be really, really bad because you're in pain, and pain is not fun, whether it's a turned ankle or chronic pain. And so my mission really is to get people out of pain, give people hope, not despair, you know, and that's what drives me to this, you know, every day when I wake up, drives me to give people a smile, give people hope, and know that you don't have to suffer. You know, suffering is a choice. You know, you can regenerate your body, just like you can regenerate the soil with Purium, you know, regenerative agriculture, regenerative food, you can regenerate your body. And that's really, really important to me. And I couldn't do that working for the NBA. I can do that now. My reach now is I can reach, you know, I'm on Clubhouse and I reach all kinds of people. I'm surprised I actually kept this together talking about my mom so much.
yeah.
But I
Well,
can reach so many people, and I have been reaching people. So, and I know that's my purpose. You know, that's truly is my purpose right now, and I'm happy. You know, you know, what they tell you is, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. And I love what I do. So I've been blessed. Ever since, you know, even since I retired, I've loved what I've done in my career. So I haven't worked a day in my life since I retired, from being a professional athlete to being a strength coach to leaving to doing this. I've done what I wanted to do. I blazed my own path. That hasn't been easy. You know, it's not like I'm sitting on a hill throwing money up in the air, but I'm happy because it's not about money. It's about purpose and how many lives you impact and how you change people's lives. And that's really, for me, always been my mission as a coach, as an entrepreneur, and now my I guess say my third career as an entrepreneur, impacting people's lives, putting smiles on people's faces, and giving people hope, you know, and getting people out of suffering and pain. I mean, like I said, my mom is my motivation. I know she's walking with me. I know she's probably pinching my butt and I can't even feel it. She used to like doing that. But yeah, she does things in the house. I know that there's stuff that happens in the house. So I know she's around and she's proud. And I am closer to my dad now that my mom's passed. Because we didn't have a very close relationship. I wouldn't say we were in a conflict, but we didn't have a really close relationship. So I got to know my dad a lot more. So I guess you're supposed to take some positives out of a really bad situation it's tough to take positives out of losing your mom. But I guess say the only positive, and it's not even a positive. The only thing that's really helped her being gone is I've gotten closer to my dad and learned more about him. My mom always wanted that, so I know she's smiling down the fact that we're closer,
Yeah.
and the fact that he believes that he's going to get better, that he is better, and that he can do. He's active. He loves doing things. So my goal is to get him back on the tennis courts so he can play tennis in the winter. So we're getting close,
Yeah.
uh, and just impacting more people. That's what I want to do.
Well, Todd, your story is so inspiring, and I just want to thank you for sharing so much of your heart, because I know that can't be easy to talk about your losses, and it's amazing to hear your journey and just how you're really leveraging this Purium economy to fulfill your entrepreneurial desires, and then also really help your family and your friends, and really see this next level health. So thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story. And please drop a 2 in the comments, you guys, if you are moved by Todd's story, and if you feel more hopeful, if you feel more inspired by the many facets that we can do here in living our inspired lives and our passionate lives, and really helping people, because that's why I'm part of Purium myself as well, is just to help as many people as I can. So thank you so much, Todd.
Oh, you're
Appreciate having you
welcome.
on.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Awesome, y'all. Well, I'm going to just really wrap up this call by thanking each and every one of you for being here. And, if you want to learn more about how to get your hands on some of these amazing nutrients, or even feel called to join us in the mission of creating impact and income, and earning money through the holidays and beyond, promoting personal, community, and planetary wellness, just get back with the person who invited you to this call, and they can hook you up with discounts and all the details that you want to learn more about. And, as a company, we have over 70 organic superfood products that are all focused on alkalizing the body, providing deep nourishment and gentle detoxification, as well as, our products don't contain any fillers, any preservatives, any synthetics, any binders, any of that stuff. They are pure sun and wind dehydrated whole foods that have been picked vine ripe, and have the ability to really support our bodies to create an environment for regeneration, like Todd was talking about. So our most popular program is actually what we call the Ultimate Lifestyle Transformation Plus Performance Pack. And for $17 a day, it supplies you with 30 days and 60 plus meals of organic micronutrition, gut microbiome support, glyphosate detoxification, which is something we didn't really get into on this call, but I'm very passionate about, as well as pre and post workout rejuvenation, like Todd is using for his clients. We have pure natural energy and cellular fuel that is provided by these products, so that we can live in our most optimal and vital states. So, over my 3 years of being with Purium, I've witnessed hundreds, if not thousands, of people achieve the health goals that they are desiring, whether it's, reaching your ideal weight, wanting better athletic performance, needing more energy, wanting to sleep better, stabilize your hormones, reduce chronic inflammation. I mean, you name it. These nutrients have helped me personally completely recover from the postpartum depletion I was experiencing with my first son, and allowed me to feel like 100% amazing all through my second pregnancy and beyond. And the best part is that you can purchase a pack like this, and you can also get the business for free. So this comes with, top-notch business training, personal development. You get LinkedIn to leverage systems, so you can really utilize your network, like Todd was talking about. We have community support, we have team camaraderie, and we have the potential to make unlimited streams of incomes by linking arms with other health and planetary stewards like Todd, and so many more. So, just a little side note, during this pandemic, US billionaires have increased their profits by 65%. So I'm talking corporations like Amazon, Whole Foods, big companies that sell consumer goods with no personal connection or support included. And, due to this great resignation that we're experiencing, where lots of people are losing their jobs or having to leave their jobs during this pandemic. I mean, 4.3 million people left their jobs just in August, and it's estimated that 50% of the workforce is estimated to leave by the end of the year. So we need real solutions for these huge life and socioeconomic transitions that we're going through. And in 2020, there were more than 500,000 cases of bankruptcy filed, and it's statistically reported that had these individuals just had an extra $800 a month, it could have been avoided. So this business model is a way to support the everyday person who's lost their job or transitioned out of a career like Todd, that just wants to have a little more money coming in, or potentially a lot more money coming in, and wanting the need and desiring that personal and community support that is really necessary to make these lasting health transformations, and not potentially, step out of the grind and into something where your heart can really be fully in it. Like Todd was saying, where you're not working a job, but you're working your joy of being, and you feel so connected to the mission that you're in. So when your friend invited you to this call, it's because they wanted to share this with you. And, when you potentially purchase some superfoods from your friend, or maybe even join the team, you are being part of the solution in terms of offering more equitable work and wealth opportunities to people that really need it, to people that really want to be home with their families, like Todd and myself. So that's just a little food for thought on what can really be possible here with the Purium economy. And yeah, that's going to wrap us up for the evening. So we are going to give away one of our whole food supplements here. It's called Zinc Aid. It's got vitamin A, E, D, C, and zinc. It's all whole food based, nothing synthetic at all in it. It's pure food that you can take daily. I take 3 a day, and it can really support your immune system during the holiday season. So if you are a guest on this call, go ahead and drop a 1 in the chat, and I'm going to kind of random pick a name to pick a winner. So go ahead and drop a 1 in the chat, everyone. And let's see who the winner will be. I'll give just a second to get a few people in there. And also, I'd love to see, drop a 3 in the chat if you enjoyed this conversation, if you learned something new, if you're excited to hear more and potentially see the possibilities for yourself, either on a nutrition front or potentially on an economic front as well. So beautiful, lots of 3s. All right, the winner of the Zinc Aid is going to be Felicia Harlow. So Felicia, how you win this is you just get back to the person who invited you, and they'll contact me, and then we will get you one of these in the mail so that you can start consuming some of these amazing superfoods. And thank you all so much for being here tonight. Like I said, just reach out to the person who invited you to this call to learn more and fulfill any more curiosity. And thank you again, Todd, for sharing your story so openly. And I just am so excited to see where you continue to take your passions with this. So have a good night, everyone.
Good night. Thank you very much. This was great.